Transformers 5 sucks ass.
Hey guys.
Is anybody surprised by that? I mean, honestly.
No.
So, yeah, we just got done watching Transformers 5 the last night. Spoiler alert, it's not the last one. They're gonna make more.
Unless we don't give Michael Bay our money. Stop. Please. Don't see this movie.
People in Asia, I know you got a nice big spot on there in the last one. Just don't go see this movie, okay? You deserve better. We all deserve better, honestly.
I think the reason I hated this movie as much as I did is because we watched the good one like
I don't think that would apply too much for this because this would be an awful movie regardless.
Yeah, it's just I think it pissed me off more.
It's entirely possible.
I've seen this movie twice now.
Yeah, you were an idiot and went and saw it last night.
We had a midnight showing at my job, and I actually got off at midnight, so I was like, fuck it. I guess I should see it and warn him. And because I slept through half of this fucking movie today. I'm not kidding. I slept through that bitch.
It's easy to do. There's not a lot of for a movie that prides itself on being a summer action blockbuster for idiots what like summer action blockbusters.
This was long.
This didn't have a lot of action in it.
Boring.
Yeah, it's really goddamn boring.
They did
for anybody. Let's summarize the plot. We've already given our announcement. Don't go through this fucking movie. It's awful. It's long. It's poorly acted. It's poorly made.
And now we're gonna spoil the shit out of it.
We're 100% gonna spoil the dog shit out of it. For anybody who's seen Transformers Prime, there's an episode where it turns out that Unicron is Earth, and centuries upon centuries ago, Unicron just fell into our orbit after a battle with Primus, and essentially the planet formed around it, and life started growing on it. So it's that, just without any characterization, random happenstance for things to happen.
We don't even see Unicron, though. We see Cybertron trying to come, like some bitch that runs Cybertron.
Yeah,
trying to come.
Never
destroy.
any mention of that before now.
Yeah, and like Optimus, first time we see him, he's going into space to.
No, he was already in space. He was holding. He looked like he was dead.
He was like an icicle in space.
Right up until he hit Cybertron, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm awake! Where am I?"
And then how easily he got fucking brainwashed. That was...
Yeah, that was...
no effort.
That was a treat. Well, to be fair, when somebody hooks giant electronic zaps of energy up to you and says, "Do my bidding!"
It wasn't that hard to break either, though.
No, it really wasn't.
We got you get 10 minutes of evil Optimus tops. Who is Nemesis Prime.
Yeah, Nemesis Prime is another character that was made, but it was legitimately another character, not Optimus Prime evil. And so it's like, oh, so you just did that because you could then brand another toy out there. We talked recently about the Transformers 1986 movie, and how, looking back as an adult, I can watch it with the childish wonder that I had, mostly because I grew up with it. But as an adult, I can put my cynical adult glasses on and say, oh yeah, they did this specifically so they could sell more toys. I don't think children are going to be able to have that with this movie.
No. I mean, even the Power Rangers movie, it wasn't
They
good.
tried a little harder, and I fucking hated that movie.
It wasn't fantastic by any standards, but, I mean, they were able to sell toys and make their budget back, so...
Right. No, actually, we mentioned people overseas, the foreign market, as it's known. And
that's the only thing that...
This was something that we didn't get to release it because of various circumstances, but in our Mummy conversation...
no, Mummy got released.
Mummy got released?
Yeah, it was Pirates that didn't get released.
It was Pirates. I'm pretty sure it was The Mummy, but it might have been Pirates.
That one's up. That one's.
Yeah, go watch our Mummy review if you haven't seen that for further detailed explanation of this. Maybe. I don't know. It's been a while since I've done either of those. But we briefly touched on the idea of the foreign market playing a huge influence in this and how it's made.
That's the only thing that saved that movie.
Well, here's the thing. That played a huge, unmitigatedly monstrous part in the last Transformers movie, with half of it being set in China.
Yeah.
And a great deal of Chinese product placement in it. That's here again, but to a much more subtle extent, and I never actually thought I would use the word subtle in a Michael Bay movie. Because when Cybertron is coming down and it's raking its tendrils across the planet, it will flash various locations at the bottom of the screen. It flashed to two places. One was Hong Kong, which it labeled. The other was Egypt. Egypt was not labeled. I don't know whether that was done as an oversight, but I have a feeling that it wasn't, because, let's face facts, Hollywood knows where its bread's buttered. And so Asia gets the predominant spot of marketing.
Yeah. I just...
And I really can't help but wonder how much of this was meant to be marketed there for that.
I don't know.
I
can't get over about how, like, I expected it to be bad. I did not expect it to be this goddamn awful.
Well, that's really the big thing, is it's not just bad, because I can suffer a bad movie easily. Some of my favorite movies are bad movies. But this is a bad, boring movie. And that is the absolute worst kind of movie you can possibly have. It is so by the numbers that you could... Well, it's very
You
interesting.
can quite literally predict what's going to happen. Nostalgia Critic did it.
Yes, go watch Doug Walker's Nostalgia Critic Transformers 5 non-review. That's actually very fun. We listened to that on the way out.
And he hit everything on the head minus like two things. Like,
I think it was only one that he sort of missed, and even then,
these movies have come down to just a formula.
well,
that,
you can apply that to any movie.
yeah, but
This one, especially though, is so amazingly unashamed of being that formula that it almost feels like it's insulting you for being there.
I really felt that way.
And
There was so
that being said,
many
I
things.
don't know who edited this movie. I want some of whatever drugs they were taking, because the editing in this movie is just wildly all over the place. I'm not just talking within certain locations and shots, which is there too, but I mean, it's borderline experimental. I would almost say go see it just to try and ponder what went through the editor's mind when he was doing this. Or she, I don't know. But
Bay said it had to look different, but be the same movie.
essentially,
I don't know where that came from.
I don't either. I don't know why it had to be Southern. Scenes bleed into one another with no establishing. Seeing people come and go. They're rarely introduced. Things just happen.
Yeah.
No explanation is given. Nothing is explained. Apparently, the hot, smart chick, because there's one of those in this, again, has a Citroen, that is a Transformer. But Anthony Hopkins knew about it, but Anthony Hopkins didn't know about her, but knew she had the car.
No, he knew about her. Remember, he
investigated her, but he didn't know about her. And so
maybe the car was her dad.
I don't know. I don't know. At the end of the movie, the little girl, when they're going to storm Cybertron, and
what was
stuff,
her fucking purpose?
I don't know. To give kids something to look at and go, I can be in a
There's so
Transformers
many
movie.
characters in this movie that serve no goddamn purpose.
That would be all of them.
Well,
Quite literally all of them.
yeah.
None of them serve a purpose.
I mean, if the biggest problem I figured out with these Transformers movies is it's not about the Transformers. And
No, it's never been
should
about the
be.
Transformers. From movie one, it has not been about the Transformers.
I don't give a fuck about like all these people. I want to see Transformers being Transformers with maybe a couple human sidekicks.
No, that's not
But-
what you want.
Yeah, it is.
That's not what you want.
Fuck
What you
yeah.
want is explosions!
Fuck you, Michael Bay.
Explosions and hot chicks and hot dudes for the ladies, and things happen and nobody cares about what they're saying because they're hot.
And I ruined your childhood. For real, this is another thing Michael Bay just ruined for me. He ruined King Arthur. He's already destroyed Transformers.
Well, I knew we were in for a
Turtles.
ride when
I am number 4, and now he destroyed fucking King Arthur because Excalibur is a goddamn Transformer.
Yeah, everything in this movie is a Transformer. Anthony Hopkins' cane that he walks with is a Transformer. A clock that killed Hitler is a Transformer. Why there had to be a clock that killed Hitler? Why he couldn't just hit his head? I don't know, but there's a pocket watch that shot Hitler.
Also,
Bumblebee has existed in our world since at least World War II because he was an undercover staff car.
see, here's
And-
what I don't
and-
understand. Does he even watch the movies he made? Because he goes back and contradicts himself
Would you?
all the goddamn time.
Would you?
Probably not.
Oh, there you go.
But, like, I'm just saying, Bay goes back and contradicts the shit that's already happened. The script does it all the time.
Let's be 100% honest. If we weren't doing this for a review show, we would never have seen this movie.
No. No,
This-
no.
Would 100% not be a movie that I would ever have watched. And because you work at the movie theater, we had a pass and we used that to go see this movie. And
I
it-
almost asked for my free ticket.
and I would have agreed with you. I had to get up and use the bathroom maybe 20 minutes in. As I was walking out, I was sitting in the urinal, talking to myself, just constantly. I've made a mistake. I've made a mistake. I've made a mistake. It's all a mistake. It's all wrong. It's all bad. Should never have thought about this. Should never have said let's do this.
No, you shouldn't have.
I don't like to say people shouldn't do movies because I love movies. Movies are great. They're wonderful, and they help us as people. Anthony Hopkins should never have said yes to this movie. There are a few things that I never want to see Anthony Hopkins do again. One is say something is bitchin'. I never want to see that happen again.
Oh, Jesus. Anthony, why? Why, Anthony?
Another thing is hear an old English Autobot say that he was the coolest person I've ever served. These are things that happen in a movie banking off of nostalgia for a 30-year-old cartoon based on a toy line. I know that you technically don't have to adhere to a very linear or cohesively structured idea. God knows the cartoons didn't. And you can point to a number of the animated series where they were just blatantly, buy the toy! Here it is, buy the toy! You want a hot rod? Here's a hot rod, here's 5 attachments, all the attachments are sold separately, buy the toy, Ultra Magnus is out, 15 attachments, buy Ultra Magnus! And it's like, okay, I get it. Whatever. But what that did do was marketed to a younger audience that doesn't swear a whole lot, at least not, in public, that probably isn't going to get innuendo. So it's okay if you make a dumb movie for kids, just kind of don't talk down to the kids, because
you want to get punched in the face really, really hard?
that was the best part. There's a wonderful scene where one of the kids is talking back to Mark Wahlberg, who's apparently being hunted. I don't know why, but then again, the Autobots are illegal for reasons. And yeah, he looks at it and is like, there's a reward. I could go turn you in. It's like, you want to get punched in the face really hard? And I'm just like...
That was the best part about
That was the best part of the movie. That and the moment when I realized that Anthony Hopkins wasn't actually acting. He was just saying his lines and getting more and more pissed off the further he went with some of them. Because there are points where he looks really red and shouts at people, and I'm just like, I don't think he's acting. I think he's just really pissed off. Which, if I were Anthony Hopkins and had to be in a Michael Bay movie, I would be really pissed off too.
Lennox is back, and we didn't need him. We didn't need any of the people in this movie.
They did not mean my you earned that paycheck, Tyrese. I was going for a twofer. I was gonna have Furious 8 and Transformers earn that paycheck, Tyrese, and I was denied.
No.
I'm very mad. In his place is a whole bunch of people that happen.
Before Transformers and Ted 2, Mark Wahlberg never one time made a sequel, and I think there's a reason for that.
It's entirely possible, but then again, he did make The Happening, which was an awful movie in and of itself.
Yeah, well, now he's
I don't
working
think
on his
it's
third
the sequel
ever.
I don't think it's sequels. I think it's the movies. And this movie sucks.
It's really bad.
Honestly, I think we have talked more about this movie than the writers did creating this movie. And
I'm dead inside.
It's draining. It's hard. I know that doesn't probably make a lick of sense to anybody out there. How something that's completely and totally non-interactive that we chose to go to makes me tired. It makes me worn down. It makes me hurt. There's a part where I literally felt pain watching this movie. Apparently, there's an order of people known as the Witwickens, an ancient order that guards the secret of Transformers from as far back as the Dark Ages. They're called the Witwickens, he said, and I immediately felt a bolt of pain lace from the frontal lobe to the back. And Jared warned me about this going in, and I was like, well, thank you for letting me know. That probably would have come as a striking moment. And the second he said it, it flashed through my head. And I immediately... That was when I had to go use the bathroom, because I had to leave. Because I knew I had made a mistake. Had we not been in the theater with multiple people, I would have screamed so many times. Because this... I don't even know how to categorize this movie at this point. I wasn't this angry, but now that I've actually had time to process and think about what happened, I'm furious beyond meaning and words.
I don't even have to talk. You're so pissed off.
I don't like being left speechless. It is one of the worst feelings. You can't... But I can't put into words how bad this movie is. I know people say they're bad. I mean, oh Jesus, don't go see the Transformers. They're pretty awful. It's like, pretty awful doesn't even begin to cover it at this point anymore. I don't even think they're making movies for people. I think this is entirely just done the way the Fantastic Four movie with Roger Corman was done, it was made as a joke to try and maintain her rights. Except they're actually releasing it because I don't think Paramount has anything else to release at this point. And I'm concerned because Paramount is responsible for a great many of my greatest things. Indiana Jones. Fucking great series. And now I think it's the Transformers. And that's it. I don't. You want to chip in here? I'm running on steam. I'm running on fumes, and the fumes are rapidly depleting.
Fuck this movie.
Oh God, I truly wish I had something more to say to this movie. I truly, truly, truly wish that I just had anything better or worthwhile to talk about this movie about, and I don't. I hate saying don't go see a movie. I hate saying that that it's not worth it because a lot of people work on these. A lot of people put time and effort and energy. But I don't know who those people are anymore. No one in this movie cared. The director sure as shit didn't care. I don't think the editor cared. The writers clearly didn't care because I'm pretty sure 90% of Anthony Hopkins' dialogue was just him dumping exposition. I literally think that they shoved a script in his hands day one and said, here, tell people what's going on and look charismatic. And he's just like, do you want me to provide some kind of a what I should be feeling? No, just say the lines. There's been interviews with him and he's like, I have no idea what this movie's about. And you know what? I'm inclined to believe him. I just sat through the fucker and I don't know what it was about. When the crux of your story can be solved by people having done nothing at all, you've got a problem.
Yeah, you do.
And ultimately, that is what happens in this. The evil Cybertron wizard lady is coming to Earth to get a thing, but she doesn't know where the thing is. But she needs the thing to fix Cybertron. And the only reason she knows it's there and comes to Earth is because we find it and pick it up. So if we had literally done nothing at all, we wouldn't have to fought her. Transformers are hunted. They're completely and totally non-distinguished, and they're like, all right, Autobots and Decepticons, fuck all of them! They're not from Earth! Earth first! Earth first!
They can get in!
And there's a horrible discrepancy between like the working class and the educated upper class people. He's very, very much in favor of the down home underdog kind of guy, yeah. And anybody with an education is just an overeducated, stuck-up a-hole, as demonstrated by the fuck in NASA, who comes up with the idea as to how to stop the Cybertron draining our planet's energy. I know it seems like we're all over the map here, but there's not a lot to talk about this movie. It is 2 hours and 15 minutes of marshaling people into different places, and then about 30 minutes of impact for what happens. So in that final 30 minutes, we have Cybertron coming into orbit and landing on the planet, essentially, which I'm so glad that didn't fuck with our orbit. No, it'd just be if the planet's magnetic core was depleted. Then shit would have gone haywire. Having another planet less than 5 miles outside of our orbit? We're fine.
Yeah, whatever happened to that? It was still there.
Fuck you, that's what happened to it.
Like, there was no answer or anything for that.
That is the answer. That is the answer to everything in this, is fuck you. Because God knows they said that to physics, and one of the guys even has the balls, the stuck-up science guy, has the balls to send there and say, I'm gonna save your planet with physics, bro! And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, I wish you would die. I hope, I don't like to root for the bad guys in these scenarios, but I hope you die. I hope all of you die. Horrible, painful deaths. And So yeah, apparently the quest for Merlin's staff,
which is also a magic transformer.
which is also a magic transformer item, that's just bunk. I live in a world where a car can become a 20-foot robot. Magic staffs, though, fuck that shit. I'm gonna solve this with physics and nukes, fucker. And so they decide to tactical nuke a small segment and have it swerve into the little place where they're trying to get to and knock it out. So hopefully that would knock it away from whatever is powering it and draining its power. Sound plan. That actually sounds like a really good idea. It's like, I'll work with that. Unfortunately, though, because we're dealing with magic, it all comes down to it's magic, fuck you. And it keeps going after they've dislodged the wherever from actually connecting with anything.
Mm-hmm.
So that happens. Once Earth is saved, because of course Earth gets saved, once Optimus has had his stirring speech about humanity and Cybertronians needing to work together for a better future that we've had in the last 4 movies, 5 movies in total, we've had that exact same speech with different variants, we get a shot of everybody in the NASA room going, "Yay, we're not dead, our planet's saved, they stopped the evil thing," and the dude who came up with another plan just being like, "Oh, it should have worked, why didn't it work?" I'm like, fuck you! Fuck this movie!
Then don't forget the end credit scene. We're getting another one!
Ah!
Guys, please just don't go see this movie.
Ah! Damn it all!
Feel better?
No. I know we don't normally cover a lot of things linearly with this show. We kind of do a much more free thought experiment type deal. And as a result, we don't often cover a lot of the things we really want to talk about. We kind of hit the high points because we're based on a timetable, because of your data consumption limits on the storage device that you have. There's literally not enough time, if we were to do this as a series, for me to go through in detail exactly what is wrong with this movie, because it basically boils down to absolutely everything. I know that's kind of a cop-out and nobody likes to hear that, but honestly, every single portion of this movie is wrong. Just full stop. I can't even say that about the Star Wars prequels. The worst I can say about the Star Wars prequels is the vast majority of it, I would have to rewrite the entire goddamn thing because so much of it is wrong. But there are kernels and nuggets of things that I would leave alone, things that are fine. There's nothing in this movie that is fine.
You would have burned this motherfucking script, is what you're saying.
Anybody who still had self-respect and decency and dignity to them would not just have crumpled this script up and thrown it in the trash can. He would have then set the trash can on fire, hurled the trash can out the window, and prayed to God that it hit someone on the way down so that it could then be said that this movie killed someone. In its awfulness. That it legitimately took human life away because of it.
I think this movie broke you, dude. You're so broken right now.
No, I'm not broken. I don't know how these movies keep doing this to me. Every single time I watch one of these, I get infuriated that they make so much money and that so many wonderful, wonderful things never even come close to measuring up to it. Captain Underpants will not make as much money. as this movie did, and that movie was fucking hilarious. That was a movie that told a wonderful story for children, told it for adults, didn't talk down to anybody, didn't use stupid innuendo jokes. It told a good story. It was good. It was fucking great. We didn't get to talk about that, so somebody didn't know how the exposure would work, and it looked fucked up.
Yeah.
So, we didn't get to talk about that, but that's beside the point. This movie is going to gross, I don't know how many hundreds of millions of dollars. And we're going to keep getting things like this. And that's what they're going to look at. They're going to look at it as the bottom line, and they're going to say, that's what people want, so let's make more of it. It made money, let's keep making them. And new, wonderful things are not going to happen because of movies like this. Please. I know I probably sound like I'm just some horrible, bent out of shape old man ranting and raving about Hollywood being the dream destroyer and crusher and belittler of childhoods, but I swear to God, I'm not. I love movies. I love everything about movies. These movies need to stop.
Yes,
Please stop going to see them. If you take away nothing else, just take away the fact that this movie is awful. You can say that I'm just some relic, that I'm not in touch with what people want nowadays, that I'm a lover of a bygone era, and all of this is true. All of this is true. I am a horrible, cynical, frustrated man that loves Hollywood, old and new Hollywood. And I love Hollywood today. I truly do. I don't love this. And I can't love this. And it's a shame because it's a grouping of some of my favorite things. It's a grouping of science fiction. It's a grouping of fantasy. It's a grouping of movies. It's a grouping of my childhood that I had countless discussions with my friends and my brothers about what this series could be one day. The fact that it is this really and truly breaks my heart. It just does. And the fact that they're going to be just as successful later breaks it even further. Jared, tell a penis joke so we can lighten the mood.
Penis.
There you go. There you go. Why not? It was the height of witticism in Transformers 5. You know what? Let's remedy this. Let's solve this right here and now. Leave a comment down below if you think this will work. Help me out here. Work with me. I want to start a Patreon, a GoFundMe, something that will exist as a forever reservoir that people will pay into, that whenever one of these movies starts up again, whenever they say, oh, this person's going to be in Transformers, we'll find out how much they were going to be paid for this. People will donate to that. And then we'll give them this money with the caveat that they not be in Transformers, whatever. Would that work?
Not a bad idea.
I mean, people got to work. I'm not slamming people for taking jobs. I mean, one of my favorite actors of all time, Michael Caine, was in one of the shittiest Jaws movies ever. When asked about that, what he thought about the movie, he's like, I've never actually seen it. You know what I have seen? The House It Paid For. So, I mean, I understand why people do these jobs. I mean, let's face facts. If there were any chance of us getting cast in one of these monstrosities, we can talk about how they're horrible and awful, but with the money that comes behind that, there's a strong chance we would be saying, yeah, sure, why not? Because, let's face facts, you do one of these and you're set for a while because these make ungodly amounts of money. So, here's what I want to do. I want to set up a money pool. And whenever somebody gets cast, we go through all the cast, all the actors, all the people. We find out how much they're going to get paid. We send them a little email and it says, we will pay you X amount, the amount you would be paid if you were to be in this movie, not to be in this movie. And if we go far enough, we can do that for like the lighting and the grip and the best boys and everybody else that would be involved with this. I'm running out of ideas for how to stop these movies because people have been saying, don't go see this movie, don't go see this movie, don't go see this movie, basically since the first one's happened.
We need to get rid of
and
Michael Bay.
5 movies deep. I don't want to get rid of Michael Bay. Michael Bay is actually a very good action director. Like, for the most part. His action scenes look really goddamn good. In a perfect movie, he would definitely be my action director. Like, whenever an action scene is called for, whenever something big and bombastic really needs to happen, I would go to Michael Bay and say, hey, could you make this look cool? And he'd be like, yeah, sure, I can make this fight scene look really cool. And he would probably make it look cool.
Yeah.
I don't hold a grudge against him. I don't like his attitude. I think he's a horrible filmmaker, and he needs to know his niche. But yeah, we could get with me on this, people, in the comments section. Tell me why this would or wouldn't work, please. I have nothing else anymore.
I mean, you've already said everything I needed to say, so...
I look back on stuff like this, and I think about the movies that I love from the past, and the big one that comes up is Mad Max Fury Road. Fury Road was awesome. It shouldn't have been as mind-blowingly good as it was. No, it shouldn't have been. It's a very simple premise, it's a very simple story. It should have been one of those I look at and go, man, that was a really fun movie I sat and watched. It shouldn't have been a movie I sat there and went, why is no one making movies like this anymore? This should have been a movie I looked at and went, nice job. Which I can still do. But it's become the point where just being good is exceptional.
Yeah.
And that needs to stop. We need to stand up and say we deserve better. We deserve movies that further a story, that advance a plot. When you're 5 movies in, they give you something different rather than the first movie repackaged. And you can see where they taped up the packaging. And that's all I really got to say.
Alright, guys, well, let us know what you think, and I think I'm just gonna title this one Sean's Rants. I barely spoke any in this whole goddamn thing.
That's okay. Half my dialogue is just me trying to stutter my way through a fucking sentence through rage.
Alright, guys, well, there you have it. Don't go see Transformers. And until next time, we will see you guys later.
Later.